So back when this story takes place, I was working at the mall. So one day I'm at work, just me and my coworker. We're at work, talking, chilling, things that we usually do. So two girls walk into the store. We're gonna call one Tamika, and we're gonna call the other one girlfriend because I mean she don't really need a name right now. Well, we're just gonna call her girlfriend because she was Tamika's girlfriend. So they come in. Tamika goes straight over to coworker, and they start talking, start having a conversation, things that they usually would do. So girlfriend, she walks over to like she basically walks off and she starts looking at things like on the shelf and stuff like that. Like she's not engaging in conversation with Tamika and coworker. But I did notice that every now and then she would kind of look over at them, like kind of sneak little glances at them and stuff like that, right? So after they leave, like Tamika and girlfriend, I go over to coworker and I ask her, and I'm like, "Who's that?" And she's like, "Oh, that's just my homegirl Tamika. Like we're really good friends. And that was her girlfriend, but her girlfriend doesn't like me." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I noticed that because like she was sneaking glances at y'all like the whole entire time that y'all were having y'all's conversation." And then I start asking coworker, like, I was like, well, why you like why she don't like you? And coworker was like that she's very insecure and that her and Tamika's relationship is very much, toxic and that pretty much she thought that coworker liked Tamika and she thought that, like she was trying to talk to her and stuff like that, right? And yeah, so I was like, well, did Tamika tell her that y'all are, just friends? There's nothing going on. And the coworker was like, yeah, she told her a couple times, but like she gonna think what she want to think. So I'm like, all right, yeah, facts, that's true. So then she starts to go into how her and Tamika, how they know each other, how they became friends. A little bit later, Tamika comes into the store, right? So maybe like a few days to a week later, Tamika ends up coming into the store, and it wasn't like coworker wasn't there; it's just me. So she walks over to me and she was like, "Hey, the coworker, like, is coworker here today?" And I'm like, "Nah, like she's not here, like she's off today." So she was like, so she kind of looked down and then looked back up at me, and she was like, "Dang, like I was really hoping that she was here, like because I need to tell her something." And I'm like, "Oh, like, do you want to talk to me about it?" And she was like, It's not really like me, like I just be going through stuff. Me and my girlfriend, like, we just have like a real toxic relationship, and sometimes I talk to coworker about it, and like she be giving me advice and stuff like that because she's very level-headed, so like she just be like calming me down, stuff like that. So I just, wish she was here so that I could talk to her. Like, do you know when she's coming in again? So I go and I look at the schedule, and for the sake of this video, let's say I was like, oh, she comes in tomorrow at like 2 o'clock. So she was like, all right, well, like if you see her before then, like you just let her know that like I came by. And I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. So Tamika ends up leaving. So the next day, when I see coworker, I tell her, I'm like, hey, Tamika came in yesterday and like she was asking for you. And she's like, well, what did she say? And I'm like, she didn't really say too much of nothing. Just that, I guess something happened with her and her girlfriend and she had wanted to like talk to you about it because their relationship was very much toxic and you keep her like level headed and stuff like that. And then not Tamika, sorry, coworker, she was like, oh shoot, but she didn't say oh shoot. She was like, oh shit, oh shit, and I'm like, what? And she was like that if Tamika was to come in, their relationship was very much toxic, and then like it was always something going on, always some sort of drama going on. So if Tamika wants to come and tell her about something, like something must have happened. So she was like, "Oh, that of course back then we wasn't saying like, oh, I want to know the tea because tea wasn't out. Like nobody was saying that." But that's basically the gist of it. So after that, I never really checked back in. Like I never really asked coworker if she talked to Tamika or like or what was said if they did talk. Like I never asked, and honestly, I forgot. So some time is going on, and And right now in my current life, I go to a 4 year university. But back when this story took place, I was going to a 2 year community college. So one day I'm on campus and I had literally just got out of class and now I'm walking down the hallway to go to my next class. So as I'm walking down the hallway, I see Tamika. And I'm like, dang, I didn't know that she goes here. So I call her name and I'm like, Tamika, Tamika. She doesn't like turn around, nothing like that. She just keeps walking. So I assume that she doesn't hear me. So I kind of jog up to catch up with her and I tap her on her shoulder. So she turns around and I'm like, dang girl, like you walk fast. Like I was trying to catch up to you, like I was calling your name like way back there. So Tamika, she was like, I didn't know that you go here. Like and I didn't hear you calling my name. So we like hugged. So she kind of held her arms out for a hug, So I hugged her, and I'm like, yeah, like I didn't know that you go here either. So by the time we get to my class, we end up exchanging numbers, right? So after we exchange numbers, now we're texting each other all the time, right? So fast forward, some more time goes by. Now, as time is going by, me and Tamika, like she's waiting for me outside of class. I'm waiting for her outside of her classes. Like she's carrying my books for me. I was not carrying her books for her. She's always waiting for me outside of my classes. I'm always waiting for her. For me, I just felt like she's being nice. Like it was never to me because I know you're probably thinking like, oh, this is kind of like giving borderline, relationship or talking stage vibes or whatever you want to call it. But it wasn't like to me. That's not how I took it. Like to me, I was just like, oh, she's friendly. She's just being nice. This, that, and the third. Now, mind you, we would like, and I don't want to say we would hug a lot, but hugging to me is a greeting. It's like a greeting, it's a well wish, just like saying goodbye, have a nice day. If it's somebody that you're familiar with, like if it's your friend, right? Because I hug my friends all the time. I didn't read too much into it, is what I'm trying to say. So, time is going on, and this is our daily routine, right? So one day I'm in the cafe and I'm talking to my friends. So I'm telling my friends about Tamika, about how we're like walking each other like to our classes and stuff like that. How she's always waiting for me outside of my classes. How I'm always waiting for her outside of her classes and stuff like that. Right. So my best friend, she was like because my best friend like she knows that I don't swing that way, like she knows that because we've been friends for years. So she was like, are you sure she's not gonna like get the wrong impression or anything like that? And I'm like, no, like why would she, like I don't think so, because I also told her that Tamika is also like Tamika's gay. So she was like, I don't want for her to think that like you're leading her on or anything like that. And I'm like, no, I don't understand why she would think that, right? And the reason why I say that is because I never gave her any indication that would make her think that I was gay and I like girls or that I like her. In fact, she never asked me if I like girls. Like that topic never like it never came up. And even when we were texting each other, because we would text each other every now and then, that never came up, right? So I was also telling my best friend, I was like, well, she's friends with coworker, and coworker's not gay. Like coworker has a whole boyfriend. So if she can be platonic friends with coworker, I don't get why she would think that she can't be platonic friends with me too, right? So my best friend, she's like, oh, I just feel like this is gonna be a messy situation. Like I think that she likes you more than a friend, and it's obvious that you don't like her more than a friend because you're not reading too much into this. But I feel like she likes you more than a friend, and she is reading, too much into it. So I feel like if you don't come out and tell her that you don't like girls or that you don't like her in that way, then this is just going to be a very messy situation. So I'm brushing her off. I'm like, it's not even gonna get to that point. Like we're just friends. So some more time goes by, and one day Tamika hits me up, and she wants to chill and hang out, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. So I tell her that I'm at home. Oh, and by the way, she also knew Tamika also knew that I had a daughter. right? So she obviously knew that I wasn't gay because I had a daughter, which means I had to have had sex with a man, right? Okay, keep that in mind. So moving on, she ends up coming over, right? So she ends up coming over. I introduced her to like my mom and stuff like that, right? So she starts asking me about basically my baby dad, like what was our relationship like if we were together as a couple or if we were just co-parenting, things like that. So I told her that at the moment we were co-parenting and we were not like officially boyfriend and girlfriend because we were very much on and off. And I had gone on to tell her that like we had been on and off for years. He was very like abusive. He was very physically abusive to me. He was very like emotionally abusive, verbally abusive, and things like that. And then I had told her that once I became pregnant, pregnant with our daughter, that's when the abuse stopped. And I felt like he was over, right? But then shortly after I had her, the abuse picked up again, and I was just like, yeah, no, I can't do this anymore because I have her, like, she's looking up to me, and I don't want her to see you hitting on me and think that that's okay because it's not okay, right? So I was telling her that we were not in a relationship, we weren't anything like that, but would we kind of still mess around here and there? Yes, right? And because, like I said, I'm looking at this as a friendship, right? This is a friendship to me. So, of course, I'm telling her this, that, and the third. And then she goes on to tell me about her relationship with her girlfriend. And she starts to tell me that, like, okay, so y'all remember when she had came in to the store and she asked if coworker was there because she wanted to tell her about something that happened with her girlfriend, right? So she starts to tell me that this is what she was telling, like that she wanted to tell coworker, basically. And so she was saying that her and her girlfriend, that they had been on and off for years, that they had a very toxic relationship, and they just had a lot going on, and that the girlfriend was physically abusive towards her. She was manipulative. She was verbally abusive, emotionally abusive. Same thing that my baby dad was towards me. And she starts telling me that an event had occurred that led to like the big breakup, them like breaking up, and how she was done with her for good. And I was asking her like, like what happened, like, because now give me the tea, like, for real, like now I want to know the tea. So she starts telling me what happened, and her and the girlfriend lived together, and they pretty much had like a game night where they had invited friends over. And she has a not a drinking issue, but she was like that whenever she drinks and she gets drunk, she becomes a completely different person. So she was like that they've had conversations before about her, either stop the drinking altogether or to just like not go past a certain limit, basically. So she was like that something happened within that night where an argument broke out between the girlfriend and one of the friends. It got to the point where she pretty much asked the friends, like, hey, like, I think that it's best if you guys leave, and we just do this again another time. Like, she's tripping right now, like she needs to like sober up, like do this, do that, whatever the case may be. So the friends, they agree that it's time for them to go. So Tamika was like that as she's walking the friends out, as she was walking them out the house, like walking them to the car. She was like that girlfriend is like behind her, like basically trying to fight, basically like she's trying to fight the friend. So and so she turns around and tells girlfriend, like, oh, you need to go back in the house, like you need to chill, you doing too much, this, that, and the third, right? So she was like that. Finally, she gets outside, gets the friends outside, and now girlfriend is inside the house. So Tamika is like that. She's walking them to their car and she's apologizing to them, right? She's like, I'm so sorry. Like, y'all know how she gets when she drinks. Like, we're trying to work on that. Like, I'm sorry that she ruined the night. Like, please don't hold this against her. Da da da. This, that, and the third, right? Because Tamika was like that. This has happened on multiple different occasions where a girlfriend would get drunk and pick fights. And she was like that. It's getting to the point where not only was she fed up, but the friends were also getting fed up. So they were understanding to a certain point, but they were like, nah, like she like you like she either needs to not be here when we do game nights or something else needs to transpire, right? So Tamika was like that as they're talking the whole situation out and they're talking about it. She was like the girlfriend comes running out the house. I don't know when or how this happened, but she was like the girlfriend was butt naked from head to toe, no clothes on. So she was like, cause she comes running outside butt naked with no clothes on, starts trying to fight the friend. Now, girlfriend is a heavier set girl. She's very much a heavier set girl. So she's, bless her soul. So as she's coming outside drunk and naked, the friends, they're laughing at her. They're laughing at her. They're body shaming her. They're cracking jokes. Like, it is just a horrible situation. So, of course, girlfriend is embarrassed, right? She's embarrassed. So she feels like in that moment, Tamika should have had her back. So now she starts going off at Tamika like, oh, like you're letting them say this about me, you're letting them talk about me, you're letting them do this, you're letting them do that. So now Tamika and girlfriend are arguing. And Tamika's like, you need to go in the house, you need to put some clothes on, like why did you come out here? This, that, and the third. So and their argument gets to the point where girlfriend starts to become physical. And now Tamika was like that they weren't really fighting, just that girlfriend was hitting her and was like pulling her hair and stuff like that. And she was just trying to like get her off, basically. So she was like that after she got her off, that the friends are still there. So the friends are still there. They're still, going off at the mouth and was trying to fight. The one friend she actually got into a fight with. So one friend they started fighting after Tamika breaks it up. Girlfriend runs off. Tamika thinks the situation's done, but then girlfriend comes back. Excuse me, girlfriend comes back with like a broom or something in her hand, trying to like hit them with a broom. Like it was just too much going on. It was too much. And Tamika was like that. Finally, eventually, the friends left. She ended up getting girlfriend back into the house, getting her to calm down. And she was just like, after that situation, she was just done with her. Like, she was done with her. She's done with the relationship. Like, and she was like that. If that was the first time that's happened, cool, whatever, they could get past it. But she was like that this had been happening multiple times on multiple different occasions. Like, it has gotten to, um, it has gotten to the point where like they sat down, they had conversations about what the problem was, which was her drinking, and they tried to figure out other ways to deal with this, as far as her either not drinking anymore or her like not going over a certain limit. And she was just saying that like girlfriend was just doing what she wanted to do, like she was doing the most. I guess after talking about that and talking about, I guess other things that had gone on in their relationship, Tamika, not that she started to feel some type of way, but it kind of started to like make her sad. I told her, I was like, well, you can roll up in here, but you can't smoke in here. Like my mom's in the other room, like she finna come in here tripping. So like you can roll up, but like in order to smoke, like you gonna have to like go outside to like your car or something like that, right? So she does just that. So after she's done rolling up, she asks me if I want to come out like and smoke with her. So then I asked my mom, like, oh, can you watch my daughter so I can go outside with Tamika? And then she asked me, like, are y'all finna go anywhere? And I'm like, nah, like we just gonna be sitting outside in the parking lot, like in her car, like, talking. I didn't say we're gonna be smoking, of course, but I said that we're gonna be like talking and stuff like that. So we go out to her car and we're sitting in her car and now we're smoking. And as we're smoking and we're talking, she starts to open up to me and she starts telling me about like her past as far as like her childhood, traumatic experiences during her childhood, like past relationships, like not just with the girlfriend, but like multiple other past relationships and like traumatic experiences that she's dealt with and stuff like that, right? I was just like, oh, maybe she's opening up to me because like she trusts me and stuff like that, right? Like I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think too deep into it or nothing like that. So towards the end of the conversation, I started to feel uncomfortable because it went from her telling me about her past to now her saying stuff like, I don't like when people fake with me. I don't like when people pretend to be something that they're not, and this, that, and the third, right? And I'm thinking, is she trying to call me fake? Is she talking about me? I don't know. I made an excuse, right? I was like, oh, I'm probably gonna have to go in, because my mom, like, she's gonna be tripping, she's gonna be tripping about watching my daughter. Like, I might have to, I might have to roll out. You feel me? She starts kind of saying stuff that's like not really weird, but she's not like she's beating around the bush. Like she's saying stuff like, "Oh, we both been through like crappy relationships. Like you with your baby dad, and like me with like my ex. Like, man, this shit's crazy." And they say like when people who go through the worst shit in relationships, like they make really good partners. They make really good partners. Like they make really good lovers, stuff like that. Now, once she starts talking like that, now I'm really starting to become uncomfortable because it's pretty clear to me now at this moment that maybe she does like me more than a friend, but I know I don't like her like that. So I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? It's get like we've been out here for a long time, and I think it's time for me to go. She was like, all right, well, I'll see you later then. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I get out the car and I go back in the house, and she leaves, right? So boom. So now some time has gone by, but now it's getting to the point where I understand what my best friend was talking about. It's pretty clear that Tamika likes me more than a friend, and I don't like her that way, right? And I don't want to lead her on either. So it started to get to the point where in school I would avoid her. Like I would leave class early, like because I knew that she would be waiting for me outside of my class. So I would leave class early instead of lingering around waiting for her. I wouldn't go to any of her classes anymore. Like if she would text me, sometimes I would text her back. Sometimes I really wouldn't. Like it kind of sort of depends, really. And I know it's kind of immature, kind of childish, but I felt like if I kind of pulled myself back a little bit, then maybe she would get the picture that I didn't like her like that. So one day I'm walking to the cafe to go meet my friends, right? So as I'm walking to the cafe, I see Tamika. She's walking this way, right? And I'm like, damn, because there's nowhere for me to run, there's nowhere for me to hide, nothing, right? So anywhere that I could go, like even if I were trying to cut across campus and like go a different way or something like that, like all she had to do was look up and she would see me. Like there was literally nowhere for me to run. And at this point, she was like looking down, texting on her phone, right? So I'm like, all right, fuck it. I might as well just face her head on. Like there's nowhere for me to go. So eventually she looks up and she notices me, right? So when she notices me, she's like, "Hey, like, where you been? I haven't seen you in a minute. Like, and you don't text me no more. I haven't heard from you. Like, you just been MIA." So I laugh, and once again, she holds her arms out for a hug. So I hug her, and I laugh, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I just been busy with like class and stuff like that." Like, and then I changed the subject, and I was like, "Where you about to go?" And she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to class. I got class at for the sake of this video. Let's just say she said 11:30. Like, oh, I got class at 11:30. So I'm like 11:30, and I look at my phone, and I'm like, well, shit, you finna be late. So she was like, I know, but I'm not really tripping about it. Like, my professor's cool. Like, he don't really be tripping, like, if we come in late, as long as it's not, like, too late. So I'm like, oh, okay. So she was like, well, where are you finna go? I'm like, oh, I'm finna go to the cafe. Like, I'm meeting my friends in there. So she was like, oh, well, come on, I'll walk you. And I'm like, oh, no, you don't have to do that. Like, you finna be late for class. So she was like, I don't mind. Like, come on, I'm gonna just walk with you. Come on. So now we're walking, right? So as we're walking, we're just having regular conversation, right? Now, so as we get to the cafeteria, like we're getting closer and closer to the cafeteria, I'm noticing that there's a lot of people outside, and it's oh my god, I just did not want to give this girl the wrong impression. She was already making me feel uncomfortable. So like, well, as we're walking to the door, I'm thinking to myself in my head, like, all right, I think we just gonna stop right here because she thinks that she's gonna walk me inside the cafeteria, and like, no, we're not gonna do that. So as soon as we get to the door, I'm like, all right, well, you can just walk me here, and like, and I can walk in by myself because I don't want you to be like too late to class. Like, you already finna be late as it is. So she was like, okay, like that's fine. I can just walk you right here. Like, you're not gonna give me a hug before you go in. And I'm like I could have just said no, but I don't want to be rude. But like all them people standing there, so I'm like, all right, I guess I'm gonna give this girl a hug. So I go to hug her. Now, mind you, I'm wearing leggings and a crop top. So I go to hug her, and as I hug her, of course, I'm wearing a crop top, so my shirt comes up a little bit. And as we pull away from the hug, I guess you could say that this hug was very much sucked, right? She got her arms around, like, linked around my back. I got my arms like around like her what do you call it? Her neck. So I guess it is giving kind of sus. Oh my god. Anyway, so as we pull away from the hug, her fingers linger too much on my skin. Like, her fingers kind of linger on my back. And I'm not gonna lie, it immediately made me feel uncomfortable, and I immediately began to mentally cringe. So I kind of pulled my arms back, and I was like, yeah, so I'll see you later, all right? She did not pick up on the fact that you just weirded me out and I'm uncomfortable. She didn't pick up on that. And I know she didn't pick up on that because the second I pulled away, she got this big cheesy grin on her face, right? And she was like, all right, I'll see you later. You have a good day. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you do the same. So she turns around and she walks away. And then I go in the cafeteria to meet my friends. So once I get something to eat and I go and I sit at the table with my friends, I'm telling them what just happened with Tamika outside. So of course, my best friend, she's like, I told you, like, she likes you more than a friend. Like, you're gonna have to come out and tell her that you don't like her like that because this is gonna end badly. Like, I'm telling you, like, she likes you, and now she thinks that you like her too because of that hug. Now, mind you, I also told my best friend about Tamika coming over and us hanging out and the conversation that we had in the car and how she made me feel uncomfortable towards the end of the conversation. So, of course, I told my best friend that. And my best friend, she was like that we had a very close moment, me and Tamika. And now she's smiling when we're hugging and stuff like that. She was like, the next thing she's going to do is ask you for a kiss. Like, like, you need to nip this in the bud immediately. Like, you feel me? Like, because if not, she's gonna think that she's gonna feel like you're leading her on, right? So I'm like, oh my god, like, this is too messy. Like, why can't we just be friends? Like, why does she have to like me like that? You feel me? Some time goes by and I'm still avoiding Tamika around campus. She's texting me. I'm not really texting her back like that, maybe every now and then, right? So one day she texts me and she pretty much tells me that one of her friends, they are going to be performing somewhere. They're going to be singing and performing at like a talent show, and she wants to know if I want to come out and support. And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. However, with the whole leading on thing, I didn't want her to feel like I was leading her on. I didn't want her to feel like this is anything other than a friendship. And I didn't want her to think this was a date. So I asked her if it was okay if I could invite one of my friends. And she was like, yeah, that's fine because, like, I'm going to have a couple of my friends there too. Like, we can just make this a whole group thing. I'm like, all right, bet. Oh, I ended up like inviting my friend and stuff like that, right? So my up until this moment, my friend, she had never met Tamika. And of course, she would hear me talk about her all the time, but she never met her, like, for herself. The whole talent show thing. So I wore like a black dress with like the slit up the sides, some cute black heels, and I wore like some bright red lipstick. Now, my best friend, she also wore a black dress and some wedges and some red lipstick, right? Oh, excuse me. So I'm telling her, so as we're on our way there, I'm telling her, I'm like, yo, like, tell me, like, when we're hanging out, with her? Like, tell me, am I doing anything wrong? Because I don't think that I'm leading this girl on. Like, it's pretty clear that she likes me, and I don't like her like that. Like, I don't know what to do in this situation, you know. So like, we're talking about it as we're on our way there. So me and my best friend, we get there first. So we get there, we get a table, and now we're getting drinks. So we getting our drinks, and as we're sipping our drinks, right? We're sipping our drinks, and I'm texting Tamika, and I'm letting her know that we're there. So Tamika was like, "All right, bet, like I'm on the way, like we almost there. I had to go pick up my friends, this, that, and the third, right?" So I'm like, "All right, cool." So as we're sitting there, like I'm scrolling through my phone, and I hear my best friend. She's like, "Brianna, I think she's here. I think she's here." And I look up, right, and then my best friend, she was like, "Oh yeah, that's her. That's definitely her." And she starts busting out laughing. So I look up. So when I look up, what's her name? Tamika comes over to our table. She says hi. She gives me a hug. I introduce her to my best friend, and then like her friends, they walk over and they sit at another table, right, that was closer to the stage. So Tamika, she was like, "I'll be back. Like I'm gonna go over to the bar to get me and my friends some drinks, and I'll be back over here." So I'm like, "All right, cool." So she walks off, and I look at my best friend, and I'm like, "How did you know that was her?" When she came in, she started looking around, and then when her eyes landed on you, she got this big ass grin on her face and started literally skipping the fuck over here. Like she wasn't even trying to like play it off. Like she literally started skipping over here. So I busted out laughing, and I was like, "You see what I'm saying? Like I'm friendly with this girl, and she's doing the most. Like, I don't know what to do." So my friend was like, "Girl, you gonna have to let her down easy." Like, because it's pretty clear that she really likes you. Like, you gotta let this girl down easy. So let's just see how the rest of this night goes. So Tamika comes back over, and she has drinks, and she's like passing it out to her friends, right? So then she looks over at me and my best friend. She's like, "Hey, why don't y'all come over here? Like bring y'all drinks and stuff over here and pull us some chairs so that we can all sit together as one group. So, you know, that we won't be over here and y'all won't be like over there." So I'm like, "All right, cool." So then we get our chairs, we move over to their table, right? So then Tamika's introducing us to her friends and stuff like that, right? So as she's introducing everybody, we're gonna call one friend. We're just gonna call her Sky, and then Sky's girlfriend. We're just gonna call her Sky's girlfriend. So my best friend, she looks at me because, like, mind you, we're all sitting together as a group, and then like you have like they're talking to each other as far as Tamika and her friends, like they're talking to each other, and there's also like music playing, so it's very loud in there. So then my best friend, she was like, "I think I know her," and I'm like, "Who?" She's like, "Sky, like I know her from somewhere." And I'm like, "From where?" And she was like, "I don't know." And she was like, "Is that her girlfriend?" Talking about the girl sitting next to her. And I'm like, "I don't know. I think it is." She was like, "Huh, I'm gonna say something." I'm like, "Of course you are." So then my best friend, she was like, she looks at Sky and she was like, "Do I know you from somewhere?" And Sky, she was like, "No, I don't think so." And then my best friend, she was like, "Are you sure? You look very familiar." Like, she was like, "You look very familiar. Like, your name doesn't ring any bells, but your face does. Like, I feel like I know you from somewhere. Did you go to such and such high school?" And then Sky's like, "No, nah, like, I actually went to blah, blah, blah high school." So then um she looks at Sky's girlfriend. She was like, "Are you her girlfriend?" And then Sky's girlfriend, she was like, "Yeah, we've been together for blah 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 years." So then my best friend, she was like, "Oh, okay, well, maybe I just have the wrong person then. I'm sorry, my bad." And then my friend just goes back to minding her business, right? But like it's pretty obvious that Sky's girlfriend felt some type of way about that whole like exchange. Like clearly she felt some type of way. So yeah, so after we're talking about that, you know, some time goes on. Sky ends up winning the talent show, basically. And now we're all just there having fun. So as we're all having fun, Tamika looks at me and she was like, "Hey, you want to come somewhere with me right quick?" And I'm like, "Come where?" And she was like, "Oh, I just want to show you around. Like you said that you never been here before, and I come out here all the time, so I just want to give you a tour of like the club and stuff like that, right?" So I look at my friend and I'm like, "Oh." oh, this chair. And I'm like, oh, do you mind? Do you mind if I go with her, to do this tour? And my best friend, she was like, I don't think that you like. She's whispering. She's like, I don't think you should go with her. And I'm like, why? And she's like, because what if she tries to do something? And I'm like, I don't think she's gonna try to like do something to me. Like, I'm not really, like I wasn't really thinking like that. You feel me? Excuse me. So, I told my friend, I was like, well, I'm gonna have my phone with me. So then Tamika heard me and she looks at my friend and she was like, I'm not gonna do nothing to her. Like, I promise you, I'm gonna bring her back to you in one piece. Like, and I'll take, she was like, here, I'll tell you what, like, I'm just gonna take her outside to show her like the outside area, right? And if we're not back within a certain time limit, like, you can come out there looking for us. Like, I promise you, like, she's good with me. Like, she's safe. So my best friend was like, all right. And she looks at me and she was like, don't be gone too long. So I'm like, all right, like I'm not girl, I'm gonna be back. So I walk off with Tamika, right? So she's showing me certain parts of the club, and I'm not gonna say what the certain parts are. She's walking me through certain parts of the club. She's walking me outside and stuff like that, and boom. So as we're walking, like when you walk outside to the back, you can obviously walk all the way around to the front and like there's the parking lot and stuff like that. So now we're walking through the parking lot. Now, mind you, the back where we just were, the back where we just were is like lights everywhere because it gives like a beach vibe. So it's lights everywhere, but like you're going around the side of the building. There's no lights around the side of the building. As you get to the parking lot, there's obviously lights like in the parking lot. So as we're walking through like the side where there's no lights, she asks for a hug. So I give her a hug and then I turn around so that, we can start walking, right? So as I start walking, it's pretty clear that she's trying to get me to like stay in this dark spot with her. Like, you feel me? Like, she's telling me how good I look. She's telling me how good I smell, how I'm wearing that dress. I'm like, oh, thank you. And she was telling me how good I look with the red lipstick. I'm like, thank you. But I'm still walking. Like, I'm still taking steps. So, then she asks for a kiss, right? But as she goes to ask for a kiss, now I'm about to tell her no, but I turn around and I see my best friend behind her. So I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you, Saved by the Bell. So my best friend comes walking up to us and she was like, I thought y'all was just going outside. Like, it looks like y'all going around to the front to me. So I start laughing. I start laughing. I'm like, I know, right? Like, this is not the back, Tamika. So Tamika starts laughing and she was like, oh, I thought that you just, I thought you would want to see everything and not just the back area. I'm thinking, no, you wanted to see my back area. Like, I didn't say that, but like, that's what I was thinking. So we continue, like the three of us continue to walk around to the front. And as we get to the front, we're walking over to Tamika's car, right? Tamika's friend Sky, right? So Sky and Sky's girlfriend, they're sitting in the car, right? So Sky is sitting in the passenger seat with the door open, and her girlfriend is sitting in the back seat with the door open, right? So they got a bottle of whatever liquor and they're taking shots and passing it around. They're talking to Tamika and they're talking about like what the next move is going to be, like where they want to go, what they want to do, and stuff like that, right? So Sky's girlfriend was like she wanted to go to the La Quinta and like play pool and stuff like that, right? So Tamika asked me if I wanted to go. And honestly, I didn't. I wanted to go home because obviously I'm weirded the fuck out. So like you just try to kiss me. You just try to kiss me. You were flirting with me a few seconds ago. Like, no, I want to go home. So so I look over at my best friend, and my best friend was like, that she had to leave because there was something she had to go do. Tamika, she was like, oh, talking to me. She's like, oh, you can get in the ride with us. Like, I can make sure that I take you home after we're done, this, that, and the third, right? And I'm like, nah, it's cool. I got to get back too because my mom's watching my daughter. So, like, yeah, I got to get back too. So I'm going to hit you up though. Like, and then what's her name, Tamika, she was like, are y'all sure? Like, I mean, we're not gonna be at the La Quinta long. Like, we're probably gonna be there for like an hour or so, just chopping it up and playing pool and shit like that, right? So So then, once I realized that she was not letting this go, she was not letting this shit go. I was like, you know what? We don't think about it. Like, we'll think about it for real. Like, just give us some time. And she got to go anyway because she got to go get gas. So she was like, well, I got to go get gas. So, like, we'll let you know if we finna go, right? So Tamika was like, all right, make sure you hit me up. I'm like, all right, cool. So we go over to the car, and I kid you not, as soon as we get in the car, I turned to my best friend and I'm like, we going home. So she busted out laughing and she was like, she was like, I know. Like she's like, I know that you was ready to go. That's why I made it an excuse, to say that I had something to do. So I'm like, so you really don't. Now let's just say she said that she gotta go pick somebody up from work, right? So I'm like, oh, you really don't gotta go pick so and so up from work. And she's like, girl, no. But I know that you didn't want to go to the La Quinta with them, so I just said that so that we can leave. I'm like, see, that's why you my girl. That's why we're best friends because I don't even have to say anything. Like you already know. So yeah. So after that, Tamika did hit me up later and asked if we were coming to La Quinta, and I told her no, and that I made up some excuse about how I had to get home to my daughter, this, that, and the third. So after that, I never hung out with Tamika again. Eventually, I did end up telling her that I wasn't into girls and that I didn't like her like that. And did she take it hard? She did. She took it hard, and she also felt like I had led her on. And I also explained to her that it wasn't like that with me, and that I thought that everything that I was doing was just being nice, being friendly, and was being very much genuine. Like it was not me flirting with her or trying to get with her or anything like that. So that's that. Eventually, her and her girlfriend, they ended up getting back together. And yeah, so that is that. So that's the end of the story time. One. Bye.